showcase this to your Indiana Fever teammates that this is special?
Well, I'm just thankful I could bring them all here. I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for them. So.
What's up, Hoop World fam? Your boy is back, and we've got some earth-shattering news that's rocking the WNBA to its very core. I'm talking about a crisis so big, it's got league executives hyperventilating into paper bags and marketing teams Googling how to legally clone a human.
I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed the three and then I went and hit the backboard, and he told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball. So, I don't know, it reminded me of the technical.
We're talking about the one, the only, the phenomenal Caitlin Clark. And guess what? She's hurt. And the fallout? It's uglier than a missed free throw in crunch time. Buckle up, because if this spiral keeps spiraling, the WNBA might be calling up high schoolers next. Let's unravel this mess. Folks, the moment Caitlin Clark hit the floor, clutching her ankle, you could almost hear a collective gasp echoing louder than a playoff buzzer. And it wasn't just from the Indiana bench or the heartbroken fans. Oh, no. It was from WNBA executives whose spreadsheets just spontaneously combusted.
Definitely a lot of young girls here today, which was a lot of fun to see, but, the Liberty definitely deserved this crowd. They've been incredible over the course of the last few seasons.
We're talking ticket sales flatlining, viewership graphs doing somersaults like a TikTok trend gone wrong. And somewhere in Connecticut, a very nervous TV producer stress-eating an entire tray of stadium nachos. Now, we all expected some kind of dip with Caitlin out, right? But I don't think any of us were ready for the entire WNBA viewership to be down. And this tweet from Christine Brennan sums it up perfectly. One player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears. Has any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport? Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion, but not like this. A truly remarkable sports story continued. Because let's be honest, without Caitlin, the WNBA isn't just limping. It's dragging itself across the court with a torn ACL and no ice packs in sight. The collapse wasn't even subtle, it was instant. The second she was ruled questionable, arenas that were once roaring became eerily quiet. Like, you couldn't hear a pin drop quiet. Except the only pins dropping were WNBA hopes and ESPN ad deals. They tried to play it cool, didn't they? Sure, the league is more than one player, they chirped. Hold up, wait a minute. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I thought the mainstream media told me that Aya Wilson was a huge star. Isn't that the prevailing narrative throughout the media? They want to share the credit. They claim Angel Reese and Aya Wilson are the reasons people are watching pretend basketball. Now sure, they give some credit to Caitlin Clark, but the media prefers to share the credit. But that's like saying the Titanic was more than just a boat. Technically true, but look how that ended. You could practically see the camera crews packing up their tripods and whispering, "We heading back to Iowa?" Because Caitlin isn't just a rookie. She's the electricity, the main character, the one-woman stimulus package for a league that's been trying to make fetch happen for 25 years. And let's address the elephant in the room. This isn't her first injury rodeo this season. Remember the quad injury? Now a groin strain? Caitlin Clark hadn't missed a game since she was like 18 in college. And let's be real, we've never seen Caitlin Clark play as badly as she has the last 3 games. 1 for 20-something on threes? Has she been hurt and playing through this? Did this happen because Stephanie White, the Fever coach, decided to sub her back in the last 8 seconds of a game they were already winning against the Seattle Storm? These are the questions no one in the league wants to answer.
And you have an opportunity to come back the next game and, try to play a little bit better and give yourself a chance to take it back home and win.
Last one. Quickly circling back on the play with your eye. What would you...
Without her, it's not even crickets. It's just empty seats, echoing buzzers and vibes. Bad ones. Attendance tanking? Like we got extra seats? Please take 1, take 5 levels of tanking. Stadiums that were sold out last week suddenly look like they're hosting silent meditation retreats. Entire rows left untouched like WNBA merchandise on clearance. Even the ushers started asking existential questions. Do I still matter if no one comes through this gate? Someone whispered at halftime. And ratings? Oh boy. Nielsen probably had to call IT to fix whatever glitch caused the numbers to fall off a cliff. Spoiler alert, it wasn't a glitch. The viewers simply left. Vanished. Like their queen just exited stage left and took the plot with her. It's not shade, it's reality. When Caitlin's in the game, everything is gold-plated. The lights seem brighter, the passes are crisper, the tension is thicker. People who haven't watched a basketball game since Space Jam are suddenly arguing over pick-and-roll strategy and debating plus-minus stats like it's fantasy football draft season. But when she's out, the conversation dries up faster than a post-game locker room towel. This news is alarming for the league, and it's alarming because this is such a crucial year for the WNBA. At the end of this season, the WNBA will go into CBA negotiations. If negotiations go well, every single player in the WNBA has a much better chance of making so much more in their next contract. And if you guys are watching my videos during the offseason, I was so much more optimistic going into this year because we had so much drama, and the media, I felt like, mishandled so many things with the WNBA last season, and specifically with Caitlin Clark and her fan base. And that's one thing. When you start thinking about how many people stopped watching when Caitlin Clark got injured, a lot of people stopped watching because sponsors notice. Broadcasters notice. Grandma from Idaho, who finally figured out how to stream a Fever game, definitely notices. Because no matter how many times the league pushes the "we have so many great players" narrative, it turns out fans just aren't into speed dating with the rest of the roster. They came for Caitlin. They stay for Caitlin. And when Caitlin's gone, they ghost harder than an ex after Valentine's Day. The funny part? Everyone knew this. Deep down, the league knew. The players knew. Heck, the person selling pretzels in Section 102 definitely knew. That's why the WNBA put Clark on national TV more times in 2 months than it did for half its veterans in a decade. They're not subtle. This is the business version of strapping a rocket to a turtle and yelling, "Fly!" And you know what? It worked. Until she went down. Suddenly, all those emergency marketing meetings started sounding less like strategy and more like a group therapy session. Because now they're forced to reckon with the terrifying truth. Caitlin Clark wasn't just a boost. They made her the foundation. And now that foundation just rolled her ankle. There are whispers about the bigger picture. But what bigger picture? The one without fans? The one where game highlights get fewer views than a cat video from 2012? No disrespect to the rest of the league, but the brutal reality is this. Without Clark, it's like trying to sell front row seats to a spelling bee held in an abandoned warehouse. People might wish it well, but they're not showing up. The numbers tell a different story. The media can claim all they want. People are watching the WNBA to see Aya Wilson. They can claim that people are watching pretend basketball to see Angel Reese airball wide open shots. Check this out. First shot of the game, and Angel Reese hits nothing but air. This level of quality entertainment can only be found in the WNBA dump. Like I tell you guys all the time, no one cares about Angel Reese. They damn sure don't care about watching Aya Wilson. And that's the part no one really wants to say out loud. That Clark isn't just a draw. She's the draw. She's the gravitational pull keeping the entire WNBA solar system from floating off into irrelevance. The numbers don't lie. The attendance charts don't lie. The camera is frantically panning to her on the bench while the game is still going on don't lie either. Even the other teams feel it. They're not just playing against the Fever. They're auditioning for Clark's co-star slot. You can see it in how they step up their game, tighten their defense, maybe throw a little extra flair on a fast break, all in the hope that maybe, just maybe, the highlight reel gods will clip it beside a Caitlin turnover and give them a sliver of attention. But when she's sidelined, that energy evaporates. Everyone just starts going through the motions. It's like showing up to a Beyoncé concert and finding out it's just the backup dancers. Sure, they're talented, but nobody paid for that. So here's the bottom line, Hoop World. The WNBA is at a crossroads. Caitlin Clark's injury has ripped the Band-Aid off, exposing the uncomfortable truth that for all the talk, the league's sudden surge in popularity is inextricably linked to one player. How they navigate this crisis, how they protect their biggest asset, and whether Commissioner Engelbert finally steps up to the plate will determine the future of women's professional basketball. What do you think, Hoop World? Is the WNBA in a full-blown crisis? Will they learn from this devastating experience? Let us know in the comments below. Hit that like button if you found this deep dive insightful. Share this video with every basketball fan you know, and if you haven't already, subscribe to Hoop World for more unfiltered, hard-hitting analysis. Until next time, stay hoopin'!